Hey YouTube, so today I'm going to be showing you how to install an overpipe and front pipe combo for the Subaru BRZ FRS GT86. Now if you guys haven't watched my other video, I've actually already installed the dual resonated 1320 performance front pipe. However, when I was testing out the sound of it, I didn't really like the metallic rasp that I'm getting from a completely straight pipe BRZ. Which is why I went ahead and gotten the Nameless front pipe complete with an Overpipe on it and a high flow cat, which will hopefully kill or even reduce that rasp that I'm hearing. Now I'm not going to go full detail on how to install the Overpipe itself because I've already done that on my other video, so if you guys are curious about that, you can go ahead and watch that. Though the only difference about this is the Overpipe section, which is where you would need to loosen up an engine mount and actually lift the engine up about 2 inches to get some clearance to get that overpipe out. If you're wondering if I'm throwing money away, that's not the case. As you guys can see, this is a used front pipe. It's colored black, and I'm not too sure if the previous owner ceramic coated this or just painted it with some high thermal paint. So usually these things retail for $500, and I got this locally for $150, so that's a heck of a good deal. And looking at the welds on here, they're still pretty good, and knowing Nameless, it's definitely a piece that will last for a long time. With that out of the way, let's go ahead and put this on the car. So you got that black shield off the transmission. The last thing you're gonna do is take this shield off, and to do that you're gonna need to take off these clips right here, and all you gotta do is push out with the screwdriver and pull, just like that. So there's several of those right there, and after you've done that, this thing will just fall straight off. So once you guys have that heat shield off, you are going to be greeted with your headers. As you guys can see here, I have the Tomei UEL headers, so that might be different for you. And now the next step would be take out this bolt right here, bolts, and then this one right here, and those bolts over there still, and we'll go from that. Alright, so once you guys have loosened up the bolts, your front pipe can now somewhat come out. You can try taking this out by twisting it. Let me see, does this come out? It's getting stuck. Successfully. I've gotten the overpipe without actually lifting the engine up, which is weird because to put it on I had to lift the engine up. So I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can actually put on the overpipe front pipe without lifting up the engine. Now another thing to point out is do not forget your donut gasket, which are at the end of the tips that connects to the mid pipe of the front pipe. Now I did buy this with the donut gasket already in there, so that's pretty cool because these things cost like 22 bucks, so that's a bonus. So I did try a variety of ways to try and get this in by twisting it, and finally found that it's not gonna go in there unless you lift up the engine like I expected. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys that. And to do that, first thing you guys are gonna do, I'll loosen up this engine mount right here, just one, since we're gonna be lifting up this side of the engine. So loosen this up with a 14mm bolt. Now that is the passenger side, and this is the driver's side. So at the moment, we're just gonna loosen this up and lift the engine maybe about 2 inches, and to do that you're gonna get your and the jack and place it in your oil pan, which is gonna be the best way to lift that engine up. You guys are jacking up the engine, it's better to use a wooden block so that you don't kind of make indentations on the oil pan itself, because my floor jack does have this rag edges, so you can go ahead and use the wood block to lift up that engine. And again, it's advisable to go slow on this because you don't want to bend you don't want to bend the other engine mount from over lifting the engine. So with a little twisty movement, that actually came in easier than I thought. Alright, so again, to put everything back together, you just reverse the steps. So I am going to start off with the engine mount because I don't want to lose, or I don't want that loose, because one day I might just be driving around and I'm gonna go ahead and find out my engine just flew out of my car. So first things first, and that's not it for the engine. I think that's gonna be this one, so don't push your bolts or nuts. Now another thing I am gonna do is to add copper sealant in there, in the front pipe and the mid pipe. Now it's not mandatory, but it's just to make sure that I don't get any leaks in the long run. I'm gonna go ahead and apply that. Alright, so that's Alright, so that's what it's gonna look like. So that when you do put it in your mid pipe, you're gonna get that nice seal. Alright, so once everything is tightened, you can go ahead and turn on the engine so you can check for leaks, just to make sure everything is tight. Alright, so here is the first start. And then again, I'm just gonna check for leaks under the car. First off, the mid pipe, I'm just gonna feel for any air, and I can feel no air in there. And finally, the headers, which again, I don't feel any air. So good to go. Now again, do not touch the headers at this point. Ask me how I know. I did that and got burned really bad. So yep. Right, once you've checked for leak, you can go ahead and turn off the car and start putting everything back together. Alright, so now I'm just going to do a quick test drive of how it sounds like compared to the other front pipe that I have. So this is a warm start. This is some of the revs. And then first gear. It is a little less raspy, rattly sound that I usually get with my other front pipe. Now we'll do a pull here. Alright, so first impression, sound wise, I think it's a little better than the last one that I had. A lot better actually, now that I listen to it. There's no popping or raspy sound like I had on the other front pipe. Alright, so here are some flybys of the setup of the Nameless front pipe. I do still hear a little bit of rasp in there that I want to really get rid of, so I think it's time to go ahead and buy a full-on catback for this car. So hopefully you guys can subscribe to see more of what I have planned for this car and what catback I'm going to be going with. and hopefully the next video will be an installation of that certain cutback. Again, thanks for watching.